Today we are going to discuss a new topic, that is soil as a resource. And we know that soil is the most important renewable natural resource. And what is soil? The soil is the uppermost layer of earth crust. The uppermost layer of earth's crust is known as soil. And the soil consists of mineral matters such as sand and silt, and organic matters such as humus, bacteria, and earthworms. See, it is the medium of plant growth and supports different types of living organisms on the earth. So, the soil is a living system. And we know that it takes millions of years to form soil up to a few centimeters in depth. And what are the factors affecting soil formation? Climate is a factor affecting soil formation. Topography, nature of parent rock, vegetation, chemical and organic changes, all these factors are affecting soil formation. And let us see a soil profile. In this picture, we can see soil profile, soil structure. The first layer of soil consists of topsoil with humus. Topsoil with humus. The second one, that is subsoil with sand, silt, and clay. We need to study only four sections. The first one is topsoil with humus. Second one is subsoil with sand, silt, and clay. The third one is weathered rock materials. Weathered rock materials. Weathered. Then the last one is bedrock or parent rock. Bedrock or parent rock. This is soil profile. In India, the soils are classified into 6 different types. Alluvial soils, black soil, red and yellow soil, laterate soil, arid soil, and forest soil. Let us study about alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is the most fertile and widespread soil found in India. Alluvial. Alluvial soil is the most fertile and widespread soil, and it is formed due to the deposition of fine silt called alluvium by the rivers. It is formed due to the deposition of fine silt called alluvium by the rivers. And these have been deposited by 3 important Himalayan rivers. 3 important Himalayan rivers such as the Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. So this alluvial soil is formed due to a deposition by the 3 river system, the Indus, Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. And these soil also extend in Rajasthan and Gujarat through a narrow corridor. We know that the soil is also extend to Rajasthan and Gujarat through a narrow corridor. And the alluvial soil is also found in the eastern coastal plains, particularly the deltas of Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna, and the Kaveri rivers. This alluvial soil consists of sand, silt, and clay. We know that there are two different types of alluvial soil. The first one is Khadar and the second one is Benga. And according to their age, alluvial soils can be classified as old alluvial soil and new alluvial soil. This old alluvial soil is known as Bangar and the new alluvial soil is known as Khadar. There are two different types of alluvial soils, and the Bengal soil has higher concentration of canker nodules than the Khadar. So it has more fine particles and is more fertile than Bengal. So Khadar is more fertile than Bengal. And alluvial soil as a whole, it's very fertile. And what are all the nutrients in this alluvial soil? It contains soil nutrients such as potash, phosphoric acid and lime. Potash, phosphoric acid and lime. So it is fertile and good for the growth of sugarcane, rice, wheat and pulses. So what are all the major crops we can cultivate in this alluvial soil? Sugarcane, rice, wheat and pulses. Our next type of soil is black soil. Black soil. And this black soil is in black color and also known as rigger soil. Black soil is also known as rigger soil, and this is best for the cultivation of cotton. That's why it is known as black cotton soil. And the most of the Deccan Plateau is occupied by black soil, and high water retaining capacity is therefore black soil, and it is believed that climatic condition along with the parent rock material are the important factors for the formation of black soil. The Deccan Trap region spread over northwest Deccan plateaus and is made up of lava flows, and they cover the plateaus of Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, and extend in the southeast direction along the Godavari and the Krishna valleys. And these black soils are made up of extremely fine clayey material. So it is well known for their capacity to hold moisture. And let us see what are all the nutrients contained in this black soil, such as calcium carbonate, magnesium, potash and lime. And these soils are generally poor in phosphoric contents. They develop deep cracks during the hot weather, which helps in the proper aeration of soil. These soils are sticky when wet and difficult to work on unless tilled immediately after the first shower or during the pre-monsoon period. So this black soil is sticky when wet and shrink when dried. Another type of soil is red and yellow soil. Red soil develops on crystalline igneous rocks in areas of low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of the Deccan Plateau. And these soils are also found in the parts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of the middle Ganga plain and along the Piedmont zone of Western Ghats. And this soil is deficient in lime, phosphate, manganese, nitrogen, humus and potash. And the color of the red and yellow soil is red because due to the diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. It looks yellow when it occurs in hydrated form. Our next soil is laterate soil. Laterite. The word laterate has been derived from the Latin word later, which means brick. And this soil so soft when wet and so hard when dried. And this soil is found in the areas of high temperature and high rainfall. And this soil is formed as a result of high leaching due to rainfall. This is a result of intense leaching due to heavy rain. And the organic matters of this soil will be removed fast by the bacteria as it is high temperature, and humus will be taken quickly by the trees and other plants. So, the humus content is very low. And let us see what are all the minerals found in this soil. Mainly iron and aluminum, and deficient in nitrogen, potassium, lime and humus. And the color of this soil is red because due to iron oxide. And what are all the crops cultivating this laterite soil? It's mainly rice, ragi, sugar cane and cashew nuts. And where we can find this type of laterite soil? It is found in Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa and Assam. Our another type of soil is arid soil. Arid soil, and this arid soil seen under arid and semi-arid conditions, and this soil is deposited mainly by wind activities, and it is very high salt content soil and lack of moisture and humus. And canker or impure calcium carbonate content is high, which restricts the infiltration of water. The texture of this soil is sandy. And what is the color of this arid soil? It is mainly a red to brown color. And where we can find this arid soil? It is found in western Rajasthan. Our next type of soil is forest soil. Forest soils are formed in the forest areas where sufficient rainfall is available. The soil is vary in structure and texture depending on the mountain environment where they are formed. And they are loamy and silty on valley sides and coarse grained in the upper slopes. In the snowbound areas of the Himalayas, they experience denudation and are acidic with low humus content. The soils found in lower valleys are very fertile. And that's all about the different types of soil. And now let us study soil erosion. And now let us discuss what is soil erosion and soil conservation methods. Soil erosion means the removal of topsoil from one place to another by natural agencies is called soil erosion. And it is mainly caused by running water and wind. And what are all the factors affecting soil erosion? The first one is deforestation, overgrazing, and unscientific agricultural practices are responsible for large scale soil erosion. Unscientific agricultural practice in the sense plowing in a wrong way, that is up and down the slope form channels for the quick flow of water that lead to soil erosion. And there are two types of erosion: gully erosion and sheet erosion. Gully erosion means the running water cuts through the clayey soil and makes deep channels as gullies. What is gullies? The running water cuts through the clayey soil and makes deep channels as gullies. And the land becomes unfit for cultivation, is known as bad land. In the Champal basin, such as lands are called ravines, sometimes water flows as a sheet over large areas down a slope. In such cases, the topsoil is washed away, and this is known as sheet erosion. So, there are two types of erosion: gully erosion and sheet erosion. And how can we conserve this soil? And let us discuss what are all the soil conservation measures. The first one is contour plowing. What is contour plowing? Plowing along the contour lines can decelerate the flow of water down the slopes, and this is called contour plowing. And the next one is terrace farming. Steps can be cut out on the slopes, making terraces. Terrace cultivation restricts soil erosion. The western and central Himalayas have well developed terrace farming. And what is strip cropping? Strip cropping means large fields can be divided into strips, and these strips of grass are left to grow between the crops. This breaks up the force of wind, and this method is known as strip cropping. Planting lines of trees to create shelter also works in a similar way. Rows of such trees are called shelter belts. These shelter belts have contributed significantly to the stabilization of sand dunes and in stabilizing the desert in western India.